Hey everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com, and this is the Tuesday edition of Today in Sports Betting. This is the NBA, and I am Scott Steen, and he is Scott Reichel. Scott, there's only one question. Is Giannis going to play?
I feel like nobody knows, and that includes the Bucks. I don't think anybody really knows if he's going to play or not. I know that Vegas or the odds makers have assumed that if he does play, it won't be for that long, as you've seen a lot of line movement on Miami, rightfully so. I know that Miami ended up losing Game 3. I know we both had Miami in Game 3, but at the end of the day, I think we both know that one half of basketball does not indicate that Milwaukee is, I'd say, a serious live dog to win this game if Giannis does not play. I know that according to reports, Giannis feels similarly to the way he felt before Game 4.
Right.
Which means, I guess, one of two things. Either A, he should play because he played in Game 4, or B, he's at serious risk to re-injure his ankle. And I think both those could be true. Do I expect Giannis to play? Yes. Do I think he's going to play a long time? Maybe. But I don't think they're going to throw him out there for 35 minutes and say, yeah, let's figure this out. Because after he got re-injured in Game 4, at some point, if he gets injured again, there's a massive amount of negligence, don't you think?
No, I don't. I think it's the playoffs. I think the player.
No, I'm saying if Milwaukee just decides to ignore any minute restriction and just tells Giannis, "Oh, I don't care if you can walk on one leg, you're playing 40 minutes."
No,
there's some restriction in there, right?
Well, it's gonna be driven by the player and how he feels. I think they're going to. I don't think we live in a world where teams say you're going to have to play 40 minutes.
Well, it's an elimination game, so the Bucks could look at it and say, that's a slippery slope, or it's a matter of Giannis, you're going to play because it's an elimination game, but as soon as we tell you you're going to play too much, then all of a sudden we're at fault. There's no real right answer here. You're just trying to figure out a way to keep Giannis healthy and somewhat effective without giving him a serious risk of re-injuring the ankle for the second straight game. So
you know what?
It's a tricky spot.
I think the only thing you can do is let the player dictate.
I agree. I think that's the only way you could handle it. I'm just saying that whether or not it works out, I think the Bucks, from a PR perspective, which doesn't matter for the sake of winning a basketball game, but I think that they're going to get slaughtered after the game if anything happens to Giannis. It's kind of like what happened with Golden State with Durant. And now you're like, oh, they rushed Durant back. I'm like, well, they were kind of not doing too well in the finals, and Durant said he was good enough to come back, and then he destroys his Achilles and he's out for a year. Well, it's the same idea where it's a matter of if something bad happens, you always blame the team, even though it might not necessarily have been all their fault.
The difference is you're not looking at a permanent injury with a sprained ankle. You're looking at a sprained ankle that's going to hurt for 2 more days than it should have.
Unless he seriously injures the ankle, that's not a sprain.
Yeah,
I'm just saying there's a lot of question marks here, but realistically, if the Bucks season's at risk, you're going to play your best player as long as you can. That's just not a discussion.
Get off of Twitter. That's all I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. If you're facing elimination, if the Lakers are facing elimination and LeBron has a sprained ankle, I don't think the Lakers are going to bench LeBron.
No.
That's what I'm saying. So if you view it from a comparison perspective, I'm not going to overreact to the Bucks winning Game 4. Congratulations on winning Game 4. You need Giannis to win the series.
Well, you don't think Middleton can go for 36 and play 48 minutes again?
Part of me says no, so I'm going to go with no. But it's a matter of Middleton was great. Miami's defense seemed to be thrown a little bit for a loop after Giannis got injured because they didn't really prepare anything without Giannis. But knowing Spoelstra and everybody, would it shock me if Milwaukee won the game tonight? No. But I think that with how well Miami played the first couple games in the series, as well as how much of a better coach Spoelstra is than Budenholzer, I gotta think Miami's closing it out tonight. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I would. Obviously, I had him last time, and
we both had him last time, and that just didn't work out.
It should have.
It looked good. It looked really good. They were up 8 with 6 minutes to go.
8 with 8:48 left, and then they didn't score for almost 6 minutes.
Yeah, not great.
So boy, and I'll tell you what, I take personal responsibility because I pounded minus 8.5, minus 7.5. I pounded a lot of those live bets early in the fourth quarter.
Oh, it worked yesterday when you took BYU in game.
Yeah, I felt bad about that because that was a premium play.
I might play that it was Navy also, so we were on the same page. But
yeah,
that was over in the first 2 minutes.
yeah, it was awful. I got it. Like I told you before the show, I got that at 10.5 after the first touchdown and never looked back. So
you knew as soon as it was 14-0, it's like, all right, that's a wrap.
brutal.
But anyway, that doesn't have anything to do with it besides the fact that sometimes when you live in play stuff, your instincts are not always wrong. Just for people.
That's right. No, again, you're looking to be right more often than wrong, and sometimes you're spectacularly wrong, and it happens in this business. So,
do you think Miami should be a 4-point favorite?
No.
I don't get the movement. I'm really confused here.
No, and
I'm not saying Miami won't.
I thought when they were -2, Giannis being out was already baked in. I assumed Milwaukee would have been a 2 or 3 point favorite. But
I was kind of assuming that people looked at Milwaukee, sold all the stock, and was like, all right, Miami's -2, Milwaukee fold, fine. It's like, no, Giannis is playing. Milwaukee's -1. I'm like, did they really think that the MVP was not going to play an elimination game? What are we doing here?
I will.
I got to assume that if Giannis plays, based on what we saw in Game 4 with the line movement, Milwaukee's closing what, +1.5?
Yeah.
So I can't take Miami -4 because I think Giannis is going to play.
I can't. I've got to make a game time decision on this play.
If you're asking based on where I would lean on this line right now, I'd lean Milwaukee. But that's only because I think the line's going to drop once Giannis announces he's going to play. So I'm willing to take a stance. I'm willing to, I don't want to say gamble, but I'm taking a stance on Giannis making an appearance on the court. And I think if he does, then this line is going to drop. And I think that it has to drop if Giannis announces he's playing.
I'd be tempted to take a middle shot here. I'd be tempted to take.
I think you can. I think you have a serious shot here, but either or, if you're taking a middle, that means you're taking Milwaukee right now.
Right. You take a Milwaukee +4 now, and then catching the Heat at +1.5, maybe +2. I don't know. There'll be a 6 point swing day of.
I think it's too many. I think it's too many points right now, assuming Giannis plays.
Yeah, agreed. Do you? If Giannis doesn't play, do you think that this Milwaukee?
You said if he does not play.
If he does not play, do you think this Milwaukee team can hang with him for 48 minutes like they did for the second half?
No. I think Milwaukee might come out with a bit of energy in the first half as a let's win this one for Giannis type of thing, as they kind of did in the second half of Game 4, which is exactly what happened. But at the end of the day, no. I think that if the Milwaukee's going to win and Giannis does not play, you need Middleton to go for 30, probably 35 plus.
Right.
And you need DiVincenzo to play really well again. You're going to need Lopez to hit some outside shots, etc.
Right.
The main thing that was shocking was defensively how good Milwaukee was in the fourth quarter. Because Giannis, I know that people are going to talk about MVP. He won Defensive Player of the Year and then didn't give up a point in roughly 4 minutes in the fourth.
Yeah. That was a brutal stretch there with 8:48.
Like nobody saw that coming because Giannis is easily Milwaukee's best defensive player. So that's the issue I have. The issue I have is if Giannis doesn't play, can they stop Miami for a full 48 minutes? And the answer is no. I think Miami has a serious shot to go for 115, 120.
Well, they've either had 115 or 116 in every game.
Well, you had overtime in Game 4, so that factors in. But if Giannis does not play, I think you'll agree with me. Miami should score 115, 120 points in this game.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. That's more of a if Giannis doesn't play, what do you do? And I think if Giannis doesn't play, I take the over. In my opinion, I would take the over.
Yeah, I'm not sure I count on Milwaukee to do their thing.
That's fair. So, but we just said Miami will probably score 115, and the total is at 218.5. So I would have to lean over there if Giannis does not play.
All right, I'm going to make it.
At least Miami. Fine, I'll make you a compromise. If Giannis does not play, Miami team total over.
Okay.
You agree with that?
Yeah, I think that's solid. I'm not even sure I care whether Giannis plays or not if I'm playing that team total.
It's been working.
They showed they could do it without him, against him, or the only time they struggled is when he didn't play.
No, the only time that Miami does not go over team totals is when Butler and Dragic can't score the ball.
Well, yeah, I mean that's relatively speaking because Butler still had 17, Dragic had 17. I mean
But I'm saying compared to their normal averages, they were both putting up 20 plus.
Agreed. I think Miami got complacent in the last game. I think they looked.
Yeah, I agree. I think they looked at Giannis, said we're down 4 at the half, and yeah, Giannis is out, so they're gonna fold. And it's like, oh, wait a second, they're trying to stay alive in the playoffs. I can't believe it.
Butler had the best quote and said that we played like we were up 3-0.
Yeah,
I think that's exactly right.
That's why I love Butler, though. People who hated Butler. People have, I thought, misunderstood Butler for a long time. I've always been on the bandwagon. All his quotes, he's honest 100% of the time, and I feel like his teammates appreciate that. And
All right, so
like if he didn't call it everyone else, he called out himself included. He said we played like a team that thought we were going to win, and then we underestimated the opponent. And I can guarantee you that Butler and the coaching staff will not let that happen twice. So,
all right, so we have to make a pick here.
My pick right now,
yes,
I'm going to go over 218.5.
Okay. I'll take the Heat. I'll take the Heat -4.
I can't do it on principle because I know this line's going to drop. I can't do it on principle.
I understand, but I think that I think the Heat pull it together again. I think they played the game that they've been playing the first 3 games.
So I'm surprised your play is not Heat team total over.
Yeah, I'm taking the Heat -4.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to go over because I think if this game's even relatively close, Milwaukee's going to be tackling people for the final 60 seconds of the game.
Right, and I think and I also that's the same logic I'm using to take the -4.
Yeah, makes sense.
They could be down 2 or 3, and they all of a sudden it's 6 or 7. So
yeah.
All right. Next up in this Psycho series here. If you had fun with that one, how about this one? How about a little? How about a little Lakers and Rockets, buddy? This line has been dropping like a stone in favor of the Rockets. It's now Lakers -4.5. Are you a buyer on LeBron and the gang at -4.5?
I know this line's dropped. It opened up roughly 5 or 5.5, and you've seen money on Houston. See, the thing that you have to keep in mind is that I feel like it's just so tough in this spot. And the reason why it's tough is because I want to just break down what exactly happened in game 2 of this respective series. Yes, I know the Lakers won. We'll also acknowledge that they barely covered the spread. Do you realize how good the Lakers looked from a statistic perspective in game 2, and that they still barely covered the spread?
Oh yeah, with James and Davis going for 62 between the two of them.
They went for 62, right? The Lakers, who are an awful three-point shooting team, shot 44% from 3. Right. They shot 56.6% from the floor.
Yep.
Houston made 22 threes, which is impressive, but Westbrook went 4 for 13. So 15. Westbrook went 4 for 15. LeBron and Anthony Davis combined for 60+. And the Lakers shot 56+% from the floor, and they only won by 8.
Yeah,
I don't know how I can take the Lakers minus the points here. Now, I know your argument could be, well, the Lakers just realize that they can get whatever they want on the inside with Davis and with LeBron, and they get layups all the time. I get it. But can we acknowledge that as bad as Westbrook has been in the playoffs, 4 for 15 back-to-back games is not going to happen? He can't be much worse than he was in game 2. Like, if Westbrook goes 6 for 15, they cover the spread.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't do it with the Lakers. It's just a matter of everything had to go right for the Lakers to even cover the spread in game 2. I can't do it. It's just the Lakers have really just not impressed me so far in the series. I know that you can say, well, Houston got killed in the fourth quarter and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't change the fact that nobody on this Lakers team has shown for a second that they can guard James Harden. They can't guard him. Harden's done whatever he wanted the entire series, and the reason why the Lakers covered in game 2 was because Westbrook was so bad. And I guess I'm leaning Houston, but my main lean would be to the under because the game barely went over the total, and the Lakers shot 56% from the floor. So my main lean would be on the under.
Yeah, I'll play the under here as well. The Lakers defense, I keep coming back to them. That's kind of been their calling card. I expect it to step up here. And even they've held Houston to about 110 points a game in their first 2. I like the under here as well. 222.5. I think that's a solid play.
Yeah, I thought about that being my play today, but it's a little bit too much uncertainty involving both teams, so I decided not to. But I know money has come in on the under. I lean to the under. That's my favorite quote-unquote lean on the game itself.
It's a tough card. You know what? This is
very tough. It's not even just basketball, just in general. I think it's a very tough card today.
I agreed. And it's the injury situation. There's three of the core five for Miami are on the injury list. Does it mean anything? No, probably not. I would assume every one of them are going to play.
But you have to factor that in based on a line perspective.
Sure, that's what I'm saying. You've got Hero, Olynyk, and Jay Crowder. Of course, Olynyk's been struggling the entire time in the bubble with that knee. So yeah, that's plays into it too. Like I said, capping the playoffs is always hard because the momentum, the trends, the things, everything switches on a dime. I think this year is
kind of like the Toronto game yesterday, right?
What's that?
Kind of like the Toronto game yesterday, right?
You talk about the basketball or football? Basketball?
No, I'm talking about the Raptors. They had all the momentum, and then they got held to 11 points in the first quarter. Congrats on the under, by the way.
Right. Yeah. No kidding. So.
Yeah. Momentum can switch easily, but there's one also thing you have to remember: with less games on the card, Vegas is going to be really, really sharp on some of these games.
Agreed.
That's a spot where if something looks a little bit too good to be true, it usually might be. So
yeah.
we'll find out.
So if you're out there struggling, and if you're out there and you're hoping to watch the video and go, well, these guys are going to have a definite opinion. Sorry, it's not your day. I mean, we do have opinion.
The truth is that's okay. We're not going to try to sell you saying, this is guaranteed. No, It's a matter of we're just going to break it down the way that we have been.
Yeah.
And we know for a fact that with less basketball games on the card, the deeper you get into the playoffs, the tougher some of these games are to handicap. It's just the way it is.
And any handicapper out there telling you that they've got a line on this game or it's an absolute lock or they guarantee
they could be right. They could be right. And I know that some people, as somebody was telling me, that you had people guaranteeing that the Bucks +1 was a great play in Game 4. And congratulations, it won.
I get it. Yeah,
the ends don't always justify the means there. It's a matter of, do you have a serious explanation for why you believe a team is going to cover a spread? And in these two games, I don't. And Miami might as very well win by 20. But until you know if Giannis is going to play, I'm not going to take a crappy line.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
It's just the way it is.
All right. So that's our whiny NBA show for the day.
It's not really whiny. It's just a matter of it's a tough NBA card.
It is. It absolutely is. So
I'm going to watch both these games. I mean, that's a given. Yep. It's going to help distract me from the Islanders yesterday.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
We started on that.
Truth is, am I not a fan if I stopped watching in the middle of the second period?
No, I think you're.
It went down 5-1, and I'm thinking I don't think we've scored 6 goals in a game in arguably a year. So I'm just going to change it. I'm like, 8. We have 8 goals. Nice.
I stopped watching it 3-1 in the first period, and I kept up with it to see if they made a little rally, but yeah, not to.
It was 4-1, and I'm like, all right, this is probably over. And they scored the 5th goal 5 minutes later. I'm like, all right, when's game 2? All right, cool.
All right, so that's the NBA show for today, everybody. Appreciate it. Now, if you want a little more information, you want a little deeper dive and another opinion on this, by all means, check out winnersandwhiners.com. Some of the best cappers in the world are giving their opinion and writing previews and predictions on these two games. So take a look at that as always. And we'll do it again tomorrow on Today in Sports Betting. We're going to do the MLB show right after this, so make sure you tune in for that. For myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at winnersandwhiners.com. Appreciate you watching today. Good luck on all of your plays, and I hope you cash every single ticket today, you guys. Take care. Have a great day. Stay safe. Stay healthy. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.